This here is Romeo, and this is basically a furminator. Yeah, it is the furminator. This is a good comb if you have a dog that sheds a lot. It'll help pull out a lot of that loose fur. However, a lot of dogs do not like it, and you see how he moves away. So in this video, I'm going to show you how you can create what we call a conditioned emotional response. And that's basically making the dog like whatever the object is by creating a positive association. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put it behind my back. Hey, Romeo, sit. What I'm going to do is I'm going to flash and show it to him, and as soon as he looks at it, I'm going to drop a treat from the ground. Romeo, sit. I'm not assigning a command word, and then I immediately take the object out of my sight. So now I'm going to switch hands. Well, I was going to switch hands, but now he's in this side, he's anticipating, so I'm going to go like boom, whoops. So he has to look at it at the first stage. So you're going to do this, and then you take it away, and then he doesn't have to look at it. And then I'm going to go behind my back and go. So every time he looks at it, I drop a treat. The second stage is after you've done this for probably 10 or 15 treats, maybe 2 or 3 different times. That's a good sit, Romeo. If you do it like 10 or 15 times, 3 or 4 different times, when you hold it up, the dog should start looking for it like he is now. So the next stage, come here, Romeo, is we like him to actually touch it with his nose. Romeo, go get it. That's not very good camera presence to have you over there. I don't want to waste a treat without. There we go. Get it, Romeo. Romeo, you're not cooperating very much. There we go. That's exactly where I want you to go. Romeo, good boy. There you go. So you can see Romeo's actually found, can you see me in the shot too? So Romeo is actually found on the side of a road. So he's a little bit, as a puppy, so he's a little bit skittish at times. So now what I'm going to do is offer it. He looked at it, I drop a treat. So the fact that he started moving away tells me he's not ready for us to start using this. A lot of us just start using this right away. And that, because it's a little, I don't want to say rough on their skin, but it's a different sensation and it's going to throw a lot of dogs. So if you just start using it, you can create a negative association. The dog won't like it. Right now I can go, boom. After a while, the sight of this to the dog equates treats falling from the sky. So you pull it out and you'll see the dog's tail wagging. He'll be happy to do it, to interact with it. Now the next stage is I'm going to hold it out like this, and I'll just hold like static like that. Boom, he touches it with his nose, I give him a treat. Touches again with his nose, I drop another treat. So the first stage, there we go, and another treat. So the first stage, he just has to look at it. Now every time he touches it with his nose, a treat falls. Now I'm not telling him what to do. There we go. So I'm waiting for him, as you saw there. I didn't tell him to do it. And he looks up at me, I just freeze and hold still. Now he's sniffing on the ground looking for one. Now I'd like to be actually holding it, but I'm not his guardian, and he's a little bit nervous when I reach out for him. So in this page, I'm just now going to take it away and kind of take it out of the picture. We'll put it back down and wait for him to touch it. Now for the family members, they could actually hold it out. There we go. Boom. They would hold it out, and the next stage is he comes over and touches with his nose. As soon as he does, another treat falls from the sky. Now, if you do this slow, after a while, the dog will really like. See, now he's actually touching the object. Before it was getting close to it, now he's actually starting to touch it. Boom, another one. So the idea is, again, we're creating a positive association. You can use this for a Dremel or nail trimmers. Now, nail trimmers might need some additional steps to go for this process. But the great thing is you create something that the dog would run away from, and instead they actually, well, he would have come over to it, but he got a little bit distracted by the sounds. So we'll do it again. One last time. We'll see if he'll go over and sniff at it. And again, when you're doing this, don't direct the dog to do anything. Don't tap near it. Just offer it there. Boom. And then as soon as he does, you drop the treat, and he gets to move away. And if you see, after a while, at first I put this down, he would run away. Now he's lingering near it. All right, so when you're doing this, you want to do this in about 2 to 3 minute maximum sessions. Really, a 1 to 2 minute would be ideal. And again, be very liberal about the treats. As soon as he looks at the treat, we drop. As soon as the second one, we're going to hold it or leave it on the floor if he's skittish. When he comes and touches it, then we drop. Third one, we'd actually like to hold it up like this. And he touches it, boom, and we drop another one. Now, when you actually get to the point where you want to start using this on your dog, what I would do is I take these high-value tricky trainers, the chicken liver treats that I like to use. Romeo. So what I do is I let the dog start chewing and nibbling on them, so he has to chew it in about 3 or 4 bites. And do it the first couple times. Let him do this without touching him or moving it. We want to make it as easy as possible. A lot of dogs, you know, if you're holding onto it, you're not letting go, well then I don't think it's for me. So I'm smashing it so I can control it so he's nibbling at you. There we go. Good job, Romeo. Good job, buddy. So I'm going to do that first. This is the last treat I have in my pocket, so we're going to go ahead and do it for this one. So I'm going to get him to come a little bit closer. And while he's chewing on it and getting little bits of the treat, then I'd reach out with it towards him like this. And you saw that made him move away. So I'd wait for him to come back and then just move it just a little bit. You see he's looking at it, but he's not recoiling away. The next step would be moving him a little bit further. Now, if he moves away like that, then you're moving too far too fast. So the idea is keep on going like this until you can all get to where the dog is and touch the dog with it. Now, the first time, a couple times you do it, I wouldn't actually use this side. I would turn it upside down. And just get him used to that motion. And again, you might have to hold a treat here, let him chew on the treat. But again, now, every time this thing touches me, I'm getting this high-value training treat. And so, again, it creates a positive association. The dog wants to do it. And if you do this properly, if you pull this out, the dog's tail will wag, he'll come over you, he'll sit down, be like, let's get it on. Give me the Furminator. Now, it's going to take some time of practice, so try to do this about 3 or 4 times a day with about, a 1 to 2 minute practice session with maybe about 8 to 12 treats each time you're doing this. And anytime your dog starts to move away, don't move to the next step until you can do that first step over and over without the dog moving away. Only then go to the next step. So the first one, let's recount, is just flash. He looks at it, we drop the treat. Second one, if he won't come to you with it, leave it down, and as soon as he goes near it, drop the treat. Third one is you hold it up, and as soon as he comes and touches with his nose, you drop a treat. Fourth one is you hold the treat here, let him chew on it, and then just start moving this closer and closer to him until you're making contact. Once you get to the point where you're doing that, you can touch him and go back at any speed and he doesn't recoil. Flip it upside down. While he's chewing on it, rub it along the side of his spine. And go very slow at first. And keep doing that until you're scraping on his spine and he's fine, he's not moving away. Then the next stage is to be turn it over, but instead of actually going down to the hair, just do it very light. Just drag it lightly across. And that sensation is probably going to startle the dog. So again, this might take 3 or 4 practices. Holding the treat here helps with that. But if you do go your slow, eventually you get to the point where you're able to drag it across the dog's back and he doesn't freak out and he's happy to do it. Romeo, sit. This is how you can create what we call a conditioned emotional response to help your dog like the Furminator, nail trimmers, Dremel, anything along those lines.